indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have a call for attendance, please?
Commissioner Pruitt,
Here.
Commissioner Witt,
Here.
Commissioner Fowles is absent, Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
Mayor Staten.
Here. First up on the agenda, we have a proclamation honoring Roy and Velma Pullum.
Whereas it is the intention of the City of Henderson Mayor and Board of Commissioners to focus attention on noteworthy occasions and individuals, and whereas Roy Pullum has dedicated himself to mentoring and shaping the careers of countless students and community members of Henderson, and whereas his tireless efforts and commitment to the betterment of our community are unparalleled among Henderson residents, and whereas throughout his life Roy has founded numerous community projects that continue to make significant impact today: Salvation Army Bike Program, the Bonnet Production Project, the third grade swim program, and the community garden at Henderson County Detention Center are just a few. And whereas Roy Pullum has received countless honors over the years, none of which would have been possible without the love and unwavering support of his wonderful woman that has been by his side, his wife of 52 years, Velma. And whereas Roy and Velma Pullum have earned the respect and admiration of all of our citizens by their wholehearted dedication to the well-being of our community. And whereas while it is impossible to fully encapsulate Roy and Velma's contributions to our community, we are grateful to have them in our midst. We are thankful for their service, and we are happy to have this opportunity to honor them. Now, therefore, as mayor of the city of Henderson, Kentucky, on behalf of all citizens throughout our community, Brad Staten does hereby honor and salute Roy and Velma Pullum for their service and commitment to our citizens and accomplishments in helping to make our community the best it can be.
Well, I had the pleasure of presenting a nice framed proclamation to Mr. Pullum and his wife at their event at the library a few days ago. And a couple hundred people came over and gave you their list and well wishes and thank you for your service to our community. It's indeed my honor to thank you again for your service to our community. And the microphones right here should be able to pick up what you have to say, but we would love it if you might share a few words with us, sir.
Thank you. Back in 1964, I hitchhiked to Henderson for 2 years to go out to community college. Bruce Benton took me down into Central Park, and it was beautiful, and I loved it. There was always something going on here. And I told Bruce, I said, I want to live in Henderson. And he told me, I want to get out. We both got our wish. I got the better part of the deal. I have loved Henderson, and I've loved Henderson's people. And I've been so proud to have a chance to serve in whatever capacity I could. I have always gone by a principle that Mother Teresa said. She said, we cannot do great things. We can only do small things. And with the love of God, then
That's
it
right.
becomes truly great. And, you know, I think about some of the things that I tried to do, like the drug court that Judge Hayden and I worked on so hard and flew all over this country trying to bring it home. I saw those kids that I loved and taught that had made a mistake and maybe had an injury and gotten caught up in drugs, and then we only sent them to prison. And I thought that was such an awful thing to do, that we could redeem them, that we are all have better angels that can direct us and can make a positive person. And just like that in the bicycle program, I never owned a bike, but 2,221 kids now have bicycles that never owned one. And, you know, little things are self-esteem things. Little things change lives. You don't know what this proclamation means to me. I'm not going to live long, but I will not forget this day. I was proud when Mayor Newman was my friend, and he always asked me my opinion on things, and I was so glad to have it. And I'm glad that his son sits as city manager and has done some very remarkable things. And I'm glad that this group has a good spirit. It hasn't always been that way, but when you have that good spirit, you can do good things for your community. And I'm proud of each and every one of you. And I want you to know, I've never regretted a day that I came to Henderson. It was, is, and will be my home. There's an ironic story that I would tell you. When I came to Henderson, there was an apartment house at 614 Center. And I didn't have a lot of money, and I supported my dad and mom while I was teaching. And I got that room for $40 a month. And everybody thought it was a mansion, but it was a pretty tired old building. And the thing is, they tore it down and they added on to Rudy Rowland's funeral home. It's ironic that I came in and I'm going out the same building. But it will be a time when I will die with great gratitude for all the kind things that people have done in Henderson. I don't look at this cancer as a curse. I have had so many people do so many wonderful things, and since they knew I was sick, and I will never forget it. And that thing Thursday night with all the people coming in, it was overwhelming. I went home so exhausted that I could barely breathe, but I was so proud to be a Hendersonian. I thank you so much for this proclamation, and I won't go on. I'm the kind of guy, if you ask me what time it is, I'll tell you how to build a watch.
Thank you.
I just want to say something. Mr. Pullen was my teacher, and I just want to thank him for what he gave me. We thought we was Magic Johnson and LeBron James and Larry Bird, me and Clarence Fisher, all in one. But one thing he didn't let us do is settle for a C. A C's not good enough, Robert. C's not good enough. That's just middle of the pack. He always told us, he said, there's two above that. Reach for that. And I just want to thank him. Probably that's part. There's not a lot of people that really influenced my life when we went to school that I can say back, that teacher did this and that. But Roy Pullen was one I can't say. Thank you for everything, Roy.
Thank you, Butch.
Thank you.
Velma,
Thank
for
you.
bringing
Thank
him.
you.
Thank you.
Out of respect for Mr. Pullum, we're going to wait just a second before we move on in the agenda. Do we have any new employees?
No, we did.
All right.
We'll just finish it.
Okay. And next up on our agenda is we have a recognition of new employees.
Good afternoon. We've got John Herron here, just started at the gas department yesterday. He comes to us with experience from Hydromax and Miller Pipeline and 6 years in the Air Force, so we're
Thank you for
excited
your
to have him.
service.
Thank you.
All right, well, sorry, before you escape, thank you for coming to work for the city of Henderson. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Tim's a good guy, and I think you're really going to enjoy working for him, working for the department. We've got good pay, good benefits, and we hope to keep you around for a while. So thank you for coming and introducing yourself today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
And just as a side note, he's one of 3 that we have of the Heron people.
Yes, sir.
We hired a new one a week or 2 ago that's in finance, and then we have another one that's in the fire department. So
Oh, my goodness.
we're glad to have you all here and
That's right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you, sir. Next up, we have a presentation from Clay Gillum regarding the Downtown Henderson Partnership. Clay?
Good afternoon. No, I've been asked to keep it brief, and I will do my best. I am severely overcaffeinated, so it shouldn't be a problem. My name is Clay Gillum. I'm the president of the Henderson Chamber, and as the Chamber, but especially as the Downtown Henderson Partnership, our organizations have a long history of partnership and support. And so in that vein, in gratitude for that partnership and in an effort to keep open lines of communication, just wanted to come and kind of give a brief overview of where we've been, where we stand today, and what we look forward to moving forward. Do we have a presentation? I'm sorry, I wasn't even looking up.
The correct one.
It is.
Okay.
This remote.
It's time for you.
Okay, sorry about that, and thank you all. So just in that vein, this is actually a slide from the presentation from when I was being hired, focusing on the mission of the Chamber and all the ways that that mission is completed. I'll spare you the details of that, but just as an overview of all of the things that the Chamber is involved in and the ways that we play a role in the community. So this is just looking at the mission statements of both the DHP and the Chamber individually. As you all can see, there are some separations, but there's also a lot of overlap, which is why a few years ago the boards of each group decided to discuss the possibility of a merger and explore the synergies that the 2 organizations had. So in looking at how those 2 missions could coexist, this is an excerpt from the merger agreement from April of 2022. You all may know that pre-merger, the Chamber had 4 committees: agriculture, education and workforce, membership, and government affairs. And so as part of the merger, the Downtown Henderson Partnership Committee was formed as a 5th division of the Chamber. Just a few quick facts to kind of continue to paint the picture of our organization as a whole post-merger. The merged organization's total annual operating budget of about $500,000. Historical city funding for DHP specifically has been $46,000, which is about 10% of that annual budget. The other 60% of our budget comes from membership, and then an additional 30% is from event and registration revenue of the events throughout the year. $489 on membership is actually $493, thanks to our membership specialists, so we continue to grow. Things that I've learned since joining the team, DHP actually came into existence under the Henderson Chamber organization in the late 1980s as the Downtown Henderson Project, which was a division of the Kentucky Main Street program. The Downtown Henderson Projects Advisory Council in 1997 recommended a break from that group to come out and form their own organization. The Downtown Henderson Partnership left the Kentucky Main Street program in 2017, primarily just for difference in focuses. And in 2022, DHP and the Chamber reorganized under the Chamber umbrella, added a full-time staff member and a part-time staff member who later became full-time. And both organizations continue to see the synergies and the reasonings for being a merged organization. Absolutely will not read through each one of these for you all, but just as a recap to all of the events on our organization's roster, both under DHP and the Chamber, nearly identical to what it was in 2022 immediately post-merger. This is more than 35 events a year as a baseline, which comes out to an average of one event every week and a half all year long. Many of you all know this week we have 2 events in 1 week, so continue to be an event-heavy organization, but there's also a lot of things beyond events that we work on in the community as well. So just a quick look at non-event work that both the DHP and the Chamber carry out. You all can see these. Weekly newsletter, social media promotions. We had over 20 ribbon cuttings for either new businesses or celebrations for existing businesses last year. We also launched the 20 Under 40 program last year and continue to add all of these things to our organization. Another quick callback to when I was hired. This was part of the 100-day plan that was presented to the board of directors when I was interviewing, and so something that I was given the autonomy to explore from the board from that point on was how we structure our team to carry out this program of work. As you all can see, it's always been a part of our plan to hire a 4th employee, and not only to continue DHP program, but in that 3rd column you can see in the first 100 days there was an intent to work on the DHP committee to clarify what's the mission of that group, what's the scope of the work, and what does that branding look like externally. This is something we're actively working on. We received a DHP draft of the logo this week, actually, so we're excited to share more of that as we go on. To help execute the workload, this first 100 days and beyond, we've known that it would require a team effort. So this is how our organization is structured. Our membership specialist has been promoted to Director of Marketing and Membership to explore more of our marketing talents. And we anticipate hiring an event coordinator very soon. We've had 4 interviews already in the last week with 3 or 4 more to come this week, and we're excited to share who will be joining our team very soon. We're so excited for the future of the Henderson Chamber and the future of Henderson County. In addition to continuing the programming and events on our current docket, we're excited about lots of new ideas percolating to continue that growth and momentum. We want to be a modern chamber that honors the foundational businesses and people that have been a part of Henderson's history while facilitating future growth and development that keeps residents and visitors excited about the future of Henderson. In closing, just want to express how grateful we are for the city's continued support of our organization and its mission. We want to continue to be good stewards of that support and good community partners, always open to collaboration and communication. We feel so much of the work happening at the Chamber is inseparable from the work of the city as well as the county, and we're excited to see where all this work takes us over the coming year. Happy to answer any questions you all have before I turn over the floor.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Clay? Thank you so much for coming in to present. As part of the Downtown Henderson Partnership contract, Clay, I think, is going to come back annually and just kind of talk to us about what's going on with Downtown Henderson Partnership and where the money that we're giving toward that program is going and how good a care that they're taking care of it over at the Chamber. We appreciate you. You really hit the ground running big time. And I know that we've been involved in a number of conversations, and you've been fantastic. And wish you well at the Chamber, and thank you so much for coming and presenting to us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you. All right, now we have a number of service awards. We're going to do these individually. And so if Kelly,
Van Bussum.
I did not want to say the last name incorrectly. Van Bussum, is that right? Van Bussum, thank you. Kelly Van Bussum. If you and whoever would like to join me at the podium, Marie's going to read a brief bio, and I'm going to present you with your 25-year award.
Kelly started working for the city as a meter reader in the finance department on July 19, 1999. In February 2004, she was promoted to utilities servicer and then to utility billing supervisor, her current position, in May 2019. Kelly is very hardworking and professional in her job duties and dedicates many long working hours each day to ensure her department runs as smoothly as possible. She is a very positive influence in the finance department. Anything asked of her, she is quick to respond with a yes, it will be taken care of. Kelly has been the biggest cog in the entire automated meter reading overhaul. Her protective nature of her employees is like that of a mama bear. In turn, her employees would do anything asked of them without question. Kelly, we appreciate your dedication, loyalty, and service, and we are happy to have you with us today to thank you for your hard work with the presentation of this 25-year service award pin and throw blanket.
Ms. Kelly, here is your 25-year service award pin.
Thank you.
And also this handsome throw blanket that says City of Henderson on it. We are proud to present that with honors to you for 25 years worth of service. In all seriousness, thank you so much for being with the city for so long. If there were hypothetically a new employee from the gas department in the same room as us today, you are giving that person a great and shining example of longevity with the city of Henderson. Thank you.
Excellent.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Doug Boone. Douglas R. Boone. Doug began working for the city as the engineer on July 1st, 2004. Doug has served as the city's representative with the Evansville Metropolitan Planning Organization Technical Committee and the Green River Area Development District Regional Transportation Committee since 2004. He submitted the Engineering Division's General Samuel Hopkins Spring Garden Cemetery project, which was awarded the American Public Works Association Kentucky Chapter Project of the Year Historic Preservation category in 2012. He has been active in the APWA for a number of years and was elected and served as the APWA South Branch President in 2012 and again in 2018. The APWA Kentucky State President-elect in 2013 through 2014, and the Kentucky State President 2014 through 2015. On a personal note, Doug has been a great mentor to me over these many years, putting up with my incessant questions until he finally taught me how to read the calls on the survey plat. For that matter, what the heck the difference in a survey plat and an annexation plat was. And then he took on the monumental task of teaching me how to double-check the sidewalk and curb and gutter measurements on a cul-de-sac. In my experience, he has always gone above and beyond when asked to help with a project. Doug, we appreciate your dedication, loyalty, and service, and we are happy to have you with us today to thank you for your hard work with the presentation of this 20-year service award pin and throw blanket.
So I did the same thing Marie did. When it said 20 beside your name, I thought it had been a lot longer. No. But thank you for your 20 years of service. Here's your very attractive and coveted throw blanket for the city of Henderson.
Collector's
We really
item.
appreciate your service. Thank you.
Collector's item.
Stephen Clark. Stephen started working for the city on July 19, 2004 as a crew worker senior in the construction department of the gas department. In July 2005, he made a lateral move to gas meter technician, and then in August 2010, he was promoted to gas meter technician senior. Stephen was promoted to gas technical supervisor in June 2012, then moved to gas measurement technician leader in April 2016, providing leadership to newer employees. And you can tell I should read these before we get here. He then promoted in October 2021 to his current position as gas distribution engineer, supervising and directing the measurement technicians, gas servicers, and gas dispatcher, as well as performing many other engineering functions. While working full-time, Stephen graduated from Owensboro Community and Technical College System with a degree in mechanical engineering. He has received his cathodic protection tester certification from NACE. According to Tim Clayton, gas system director, Stephen is a subject matter expert on many things at Henderson Municipal Gas, and his work is greatly appreciated. Stephen, we appreciate your dedication, loyalty, and hard work, and we are happy to have you with us today to thank you for all your hard work with the presentation of this 20-year service award pin and throw blanket.
I don't want to mess this up. I was told very carefully to call you Stephen and not Steve. Is that accurate?
Either one's fine.
No,
I'll
Stephen,
be
your
Lord Horse.
20-year service pin, sir, and this very useful and warm throw blanket from the city of Henderson. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next, we have Cindy Phillips. Cindy started working for the city on July 15th, 1991 as account clerk, switchboard operator in the finance department. She transferred to a clerk typist 2 with the police department in May 1994. Her title changed to data entry operator in July 1997 and was promoted to secretary senior in the city clerk's office in August 1998. She then transferred back to the police department as a secretary senior in February 1999, and in June 2010, Cindy was promoted to her current position as administrative secretary at the fire department. Cindy will be retiring at the end of the month, and Cindy, we definitely appreciate your dedication and hard work throughout your 33 years with the city, and we are happy to present you with this beautiful retirement clock. We truly hope you enjoy your retirement.
Cindy, on behalf of the city of Henderson, appreciate your years of service. Happy retirement. They took all the throw blankets. So we're going to present you with this actually very attractive and beautiful retirement clock to say we appreciate your service. If there's anything that you would like to say to the commission, you are more than welcome to.
Oh, heck.
And you're retiring, so it can be whatever it is.
No, I just, 33 years has just flown by, and I'm not going to get emotional, but, you know, it's good to say that you've had more good days than you've had not good days. And I can say that about my job. You know, I worked with the police department for many years, and then I came to the fire department, and they're both great people, and I'm so fortunate to have had the job. And I appreciate the opportunity the city gave me 33 years ago when I was a single mom with a little 6-year-old girl. And now that girl's 39, so she's not a girl anymore. But I appreciate the opportunity that you guys have given me over the years to promote. And I'm very thankful for the job that I've had. And I hope that I can leave, and when people think about me, they think that I did a good job, I treated people nice, and I did what was asked with a smile. So thank you very much.
And you did that.
Thank you.
Next, we have Connie Galloway. Today marks Connie Galloway's last commission meeting as she prepares to retire on July 31st, 2024. While she will be changing her title from Human Resources Director to full-time GG, I'm sorry, Maeve?
Yes, Maeve.
Maeve, and her soon-to-arrive grandbaby, she will also become a travel companion to her loving husband, Bill Galloway, and a full-time mom and support staff to her daughter, Leslie, and son, Mason, and their spouses, Chris and Katie. Connie has served as the Human Resources Director for the City of Henderson since November 2005. Throughout her tenure, she has been instrumental in overseeing numerous improvements and updates to the health insurance benefits program for the city, the merger of the city and Henderson Water and Sewer Utility, and various updates and modernizations to the employment manuals and the pay plan, including the implementation of a step pay plan for hazardous duty departments. She has also played a key role in the development of award-winning city budgets. Under her leadership, her department daily oversees the employment for 375 city employees and the benefits for over 1,000 lives. Additionally, Connie has successfully implemented the Commission's decision to discontinue the civil service employment system. Beyond her professional achievements, Connie is an active member of the Rotary, a member of the Society of Human Resources Managers, and has held leadership roles in the Kentucky Public Human Resources Association. Connie's leadership has been invaluable to our community and has been integral to the success that the city has experienced over the last decade. She will certainly be missed. Please join us in expressing our heartfelt gratitude and best wishes to Connie Galloway as she embarks on this new chapter in her life.
Connie? I don't have anything physical to, other than cake and punch in the back of the room in your honor. But we thought it would be very appropriate. We didn't want to let you escape and retire in between this meeting and our next meeting
Yes.
without acknowledging just the service that you've provided to Henderson over the years and how much you've meant to me and all of our employees. And I just,
Oh, yes, please do. Wow, I wasn't expecting, I knew we were going to celebrate Miss Cindy. I am speechless. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to be able to work in the community that I was raised in and to be part of that with our fellow coworkers. I'm just speechless. And I applaud all of you as the leadership, and I take away with me just wonderful memories and friendships of all the people that have worked here. And I know you know that we are so fortunate to have such a wonderful group of people that work here at the city and care about our citizens, that we're all blessed, as well as our citizens. So thank you very much, and I've been honored to work with you all these years. Thanks.
all right. And before we move on to the consent agenda, is there anyone in the room who needs to address the City Commission on a matter that is not on the agenda? Hearing none, we have a consent agenda, please.
The consent agenda consists of the minutes of the June 25th, 2024 regular meeting and the July 9th, 2024 regular meeting. Resolution number 43-24, resolution approving Human Resources report dated July 23rd, 2024. Resolution 44-24, resolution authorizing acceptance of grant in the amount of $695,430 from the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration to Henderson City County Airport to be used for Project Extend Runway 927 design only, and authorizing the mayor to execute all necessary documents. And Resolution 45-24, resolution authorizing Jessup Brandon to act as deputy city clerk with all city clerk authorities in the absence of the current city clerk until assuming full duties upon current clerk's retirement or January 1st, 2025, whichever comes first.
All right. Before we get a motion and a second, do we have any items that any commissioners need to pull for further discussion? All right. Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Witt?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Staten?
Aye. Next up, we have a second reading.
Real quick,
Yes.
Manuel, did you want to say anything?
Apologize, I didn't know exactly what the right time was here. We would like to thank you all prior to going through all of this with the amendments to the ordinance. I know everybody worked very, very diligently behind the scenes to make things happen, and I really think that it's going to make a big difference for our customers, your citizens, the city in general, as well as for the builders and the developers. And it's an interesting meeting to be at with all of the retirements and the long-term employees. It's clear, as we've said in the past, that this is it's a good city and it's a good place to work. So I've enjoyed hearing the stories since we've been here today as well. So that's all I've got. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. No pressure on our vote that's coming up.
That's right.
tomorrow,
That's right.
Thank you, Emmanuel. All right. We have a second reading for an ordinance closing unimproved public right-of-way.
Ordinance number 33-24, ordinance closing public right-of-way located off 8th Street. An ordinance closing unimproved public right-of-way, which is approximately 109 total square feet, located in the city of Henderson, and located between 8th and 7th Streets and between Elm and Green Streets.
A motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any comments, questions, or suggestions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have an ordinance amending Chapter 20.
Ordinance number 34-24, ordinance amending Chapter 20 relating to the house numbering plan. An ordinance amending Chapter 20, streets, sidewalks, and other public places, Article 1 in general, Section 20-8, house numbering plan of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Henderson.
Do we have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Before we vote, I do have a comment. This is actually the ordinance that Manuel was talking about. We've been talking for a few meetings now about how we can change the way that we allow all of our builders to do business in Henderson so that it can help accommodate one of our newest, not necessarily newest builders because we have history, but newest developments that are going on in Henderson. And I also wanted to say thank you to our Planning Commission staff and our city attorney, city manager, and many others, 911 director, and many others who have had input in getting this ordinance ready for us to take a look at today and vote on. And we're happy that you're here in our community. We're happy that you're doing business here, and we're going to continue to do whatever we can to make sure that your experience here developing in our community and everyone's experience developing and doing business in our community goes as well as it can. So thank you. Do we have any other questions or comments regarding this ordinance? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have a first reading for an ordinance amending fiscal year 2025 job classification and pay plan.
Ordinance number 35-24, ordinance amending job classifications and pay plan. An ordinance approving amendment to job classifications and pay plan by applying the non-hazardous duty fiscal year 2025 one pay grade increase plan to 4 HWU positions.
Motion to approve, please.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion, Commissioner Witt, and second, Commissioner Pruitt. Any comments, questions, suggestions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have an ordinance amending budgeted positions and job classifications for parks and recreation.
Ordinance number 36-24, ordinance amending portion of City of Henderson fiscal year 2025 budget. Ordinance amending City of Henderson budgeted positions and job classifications of the 2024 through 2025 budget for certain non-hazardous positions in the Parks and Recreation Department.
Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any comments, questions, or suggestions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have a first reading for an ordinance accepting public utility improvements.
Ordinance number 37-24, ordinance accepting public improvements. Ordinance accepting public utility improvements, stormwater sewer system for the Copper Creek condominium project on Green River Road in the city of Henderson.
Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And a motion and a second. Any comments, questions, suggestions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have an ordinance amending Chapter 7.
Ordinance number 38-24, ordinance amending Chapter 7 relating to National Fuel Gas Code. An ordinance amending Chapter 7 Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 7 Fuel Gas Code, Section 7-221, adoption of National Fuel Gas Code of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Henderson.
We have a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Do we have any comments or questions, suggestions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, under bids and contracts, we have a municipal order awarding a bid for fire department uniforms.
Municipal order number 64-24, municipal order awarding bid for purchase of fire department uniforms and equipment to Seagulls Corporation of Evansville, Indiana.
We have a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have a municipal order awarding a bid for a new 2024 SUV.
Municipal order number 65-24, municipal order awarding bid for purchase of a new 2024 Chevrolet Tahoe for the Henderson Fire Department to Henderson Chevrolet GMC of Henderson, Kentucky, in the amount of $71,649.
Do we have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any comments or questions?
Yeah, I just want to make one. I'm excited every time we can spend money with dealers here in Henderson, and it makes me real happy there.
Me as well, sir, me as well. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have a municipal order approving sports complex naming rights agreement.
Municipal order number 66-24, municipal order approving naming rights agreement between the City of Henderson, Kentucky and Methodist Health Incorporated, doing business as Deaconess Henderson Hospital for the sports complex facility bordered by Airline Road and the Audubon Parkway, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement on behalf of the city.
We have a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any comments or questions or suggestions?
Nice.
We have been in discussions about this for a long time. Here in a minute under the city manager's report, we're going to see some proposed signage for the entrance that has to do with this also. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have a municipal order amending the lease agreement related to exempt facilities revenue bonds for Pratt. And if I'm understanding before we, okay, yes. Go ahead and read it. We'll get a motion in a second, and then I'll invite Mark to share a few words if you don't mind, sir.
Municipal order number 67-24, a municipal order authorizing and directing the execution and delivery of a First Amendment to lease agreements related to the City of Henderson, Kentucky, exempt facilities revenue bonds, Pratt Paper Kentucky LLC Project Series 2022A, and City of Henderson, Kentucky exempt facilities revenue bonds, Pratt Paper Kentucky LLC Project Series 2022B.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
One of our resident bond experts, Mark Franklin, is on Zoom. Good afternoon, Mark. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you mind to tell us a little bit about what we're looking at, sir?
Sure. So you may recall in 2022, the city issued 2 series of tax-exempt bonds to build the corrugating plant for Pratt. The equipment related to the plant, the land, the buildings, all that was split into the 2 different series of bonds. The different pieces of equipment and improvements were selected for the 2 different series based on a tax analysis, essentially a federal tax analysis. Now that the facility's up and running and completed, the powers that be, the tax folks who worked on that, decided it would be better to move one piece of or category of equipment, technically called effluent pre-treatment facilities, from the Series B bonds to the Series A bonds. It doesn't change the security for the bonds, the city's exposure for payment or anything like that. It's only really a function of tax treatment or tax preference, really, for Pratt. And so since there are 2 leases recorded with the county clerk, we have to amend those. Technically, we're just amending Exhibit A to the leases that list the equipment for each. And so that's the reason for the municipal order, is the city is a party to the leases, so we need your approval in order to do that.
Thank you, sir. While you're on, do any of the commissioners have any questions related to this or any other related topic?
No.
Thank you. I think you did a very good job explaining it. Thank you for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second on the floor. Are there any other comments, questions, or suggestions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pruitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Witt,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. City manager's report.
Okay, laying in front of you are 2 pages of proposed signage. for the new sports complex. The sign will be mounted outside of the highway right-of-way, but it will be the entrance into the new sports park. As you can see on the second page, the sign on the left-hand side shows Deaconess at the top. Below it, it shows the Henderson branding name. And then below it, you'll see a young ball player with a ball glove in his hand. That's actually a animated sign that we will be able to provide messaging for people that may be traveling Airline Road. I will say the message board is only on one side and not the opposite side in order to respect our fellow neighbors across the street. But it will also provide community events and anything that we would want to publicly display at that time. So this is what is being proposed. We will have to go out for public bid for this sign, but this is a rendering that Deaconess has approved, and we're looking for the Board of Commissioners approval as well.
And I had two questions this morning in our pre-meeting, and I want to, you gave really good answers. I just want to ask those questions again, because I would have asked them in this meeting had it not been for our pre-meeting. One of those questions was, what are we doing to ensure that this sign is not so close to the road that it hinders visibility for people entering and exiting the facility? And the second question that I had asked was about the brightness. A lot of times with these electronic signs, they can almost be like light pollution because they're so bright. Do you mind to answer those two questions here so everybody can hear that?
I can speak to that. First of all, before the sign is erected, we will be placing stakes for which the physical size of it, and then we will also probably have our engineer of record along with our engineering department ensure that the sight distance in either direction is not obscured by this sign. To answer your second question, technology today is much improved for digital signs. I think early on when Henderson was first exposed to digital signs, technology was not there to control the brightness, but with the new technology and with what we are buying, the brightness of the sign can be controlled. Again, I want to reiterate that we're only putting it on one side to respect our residential neighbors on the other side of the sign, which would be to the east of the complex.
Any other questions for Buzzy while we're looking at this? Do you need, you just need an indication that we're wanting to move forward on it, no motion or anything like that?
Just acknowledgement that the sign is acceptable.
Commissioner Pruitt, what do you think about the sign, sir?
I think it's a good one. I'm really excited about Deaconess put their name on it. And that way it makes money for the sports complex so we can turn it over and continue to make it better each year. So really excited about that. The sign looks good.
Commissioner, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Witt?
Yeah, I mean, I'm by no means a design expert, but it looks good to me.
I love it.
Commissioner Thomas? Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think it looks great. I think you guys have done some good work with it. I'm also excited. You know, the closer it gets, the more excited I get. If you've ever stepped foot on it or seen a flyover or anything else, it's sharp. It's sharp, and our kids in our local community are going to have a wonderful place to play, and we're also going to have a wonderful place to expose our community to outside visitors who come in for tournaments and things like that too. So it should be a really nice facility.
As a note, we have energized the parking lot lights, and Holly lives in the general vicinity. Have any positive or negative feedback about the lights?
A lot of the neighbors have said that they look really nice. As the sports complex has gotten closer to completion, a lot of them that were hesitant at first have kind of come around to growing excitement for the completion of the project.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's really, it's really important to me and the rest of everybody up here because the Bent Creek residents are some of our newest neighbors, just as a few years ago. And to hear that really means a lot. Honestly, thank you for sharing that.
Next on my report, I would ask Matt Anderson and Chief Dixon to come to the podium. I'm proud to say that what they are presenting today are two options of the final elevation drawings of the new Fire Station 1. As Josh is preparing those, I will say to y'all where we are now is today we're looking to the Board of Commissioners for their nod of approval on which of the two options that they like best. The second thing that will happen once this is approved or chosen, then we will take it back to the Gateway Committee for final approval. The project will be going to the Planning Commission at their September meeting for a final site plan approval. And we anticipate that we will have the project out on the street for bid sometime in August. So it will run concurrently with the Planning Commission site review. Josh, I will turn the presentation over to you and point out the differences basically between the two options, and if you and your staff have a recommendation, we'd appreciate hearing that.
So like he said, last year Dylan had showed you all a couple of different concepts, and we took the style that you preferred and had the architect prepare some colored renderings. So there's two options. You've got the original option, and then we've got an alternate option. My recommendation is the alternate option. I think it's more attractive than the original, but we wanted to get your input on it and take what y'all's recommendation is to the Gateway Committee.
I could go either way.
If you like it, I like
I'm
it.
kind of favoring the alternate option too. I've been watching and I think I like the second.
Okay.
Yeah, and I am terrible with design.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lean on you, and that way when somebody calls me after it's done, I can say, Josh Dixon. I think it looks great, Chief. I think the bottom looks good too. I'm happy to support whatever you guys would like.
Me too.
Everybody good with it?
I'm in concurrence and support staff's recommendation, and the primary difference, I think, between the two, the different color of brick that is on either end of the building is the majority of the difference, where the alternative pretty much provides a consistent look, linear look to the building, but yet it's broken up both vertically and horizontally with different building materials. So I think it meets the intent of the Gateway, and I think the architect and staff have done a great job bringing it to this point where we can move ahead with this project this year.
The only thing I'd like to add is to kind of give a pat on the back to the project team that we've got put together, which would be Dylan, and I've got both my division chiefs, Matt Anderson and Casey Howard, on it. They've been great. We put a lot of time and effort in this, and we're excited to get this project going. I know everybody's waiting on it, but we are too.
Good deal. So I was talking to Buzzy earlier. Assuming that everything continues to move forward at the same pace, then we're probably looking end of next year on into the quarter of the year after kind of time frame.
My
on
gut's
this?
12 to 18 months is what
Okay.
you're looking at.
Gotcha.
So,
Good deal.
good deal.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
So, Mayor, if y'all could provide concurrence, I think I heard everyone
Mhm.
recommend the alternative, and that's acceptable, that we'll finalize the plans and move ahead with submission to the Planning Commission as well as the Gateway Committee.
I think we're good to go, sir.
We're good.
Did you have anything else on your report today?
No.
Good. Miss Dawn, City Attorney's report.
I have two things. The first thing is, in front of you is a list of 5 parcels that will go to Master Commissioner sale tomorrow at 10:30. This will be the third sale in our Legacy Master closure, meaning they'll have 5 properties after that. And then that mass foreclosure will be completed. And as Mayor knows, we were working this morning, looking at new dilapidated properties that we're working to condemn and working on the financing to get those down. And we'll be coming back to you all next spring with our next mass foreclosure. But if anyone's interested in any of these parcels, they should be at the fiscal courtroom at 10:30 tomorrow morning. And then Steve Davis has a recommendation to the board for a change to our building code ordinance.
First time using this, so I'm kind of excited.
Do you need my glasses?
I got my own.
Should have come up here and practiced.
Wonderful.
There we go. Guys, if you remember about a year ago, a little over a year ago, we came to you about stop work order. One of the problems we've run into in codes is we have people who either forget or do not know that we do require a building permit. And with that being said, you guys were gracious enough to allow us to do something, which was a double fee on a stop work order. Double fee is great, and we thought this would be the answer for a lot of our problems. But we found that with the double fee comes its own set of problems. I'll read this. Where work for which a permit is required by this article is stated or preceded prior to obtaining the permit, the fees herein specified shall be doubled, but the payment of such double fee shall not relieve any persons from fully complying with the requirements of this article in the execution of the work, nor from any other penalties prescribed herein. Now, it's good in theory, but when the rubber meets the road, we've come into a few hiccups here. One thing that we've run into is, say someone is going to tear down a house and they don't take a permit for the house, they tear the house down and never get a permit, and so the cost of the permit is still zero. We can't double zero, so that's a problem. Another problem is really there's no avenue for, say, a resident to come and say, well, you know what, that code inspector's corrupt, or whatever, and we know that's not going to happen. At any rate, they don't have a way to appeal. I think that's critical for the public to actually have a way to say, hey, he's wrong, because none of us are always right. All the time, 100%. So at any rate, we've run into some of that. So what we'd like to do, and or at least have you guys consider doing, is give this total thing, rather than call it double fee, we'll call it stop work order, where the work for which a permit is required by this article is stated to, or preceded prior to obtaining a permit. A stop work order shall be issued resulting in a citation appealable to the code enforcement board. That's critical. And a civil fine shall be imposed for the violation pursuant to section 15-21 ordinance fine schedule. So it gives our residents the opportunity to say, hey, wait, he's wrong or she's wrong. And we also have a way of getting a fine and making sure that that fine will actually come, that we'll pay the fine. What we can do when we go to the code enforcement board, we can actually, maybe a next slide, I'm not sure. Yeah, there it is. So we issue the stop work order. A citation will be appealable to the code enforcement board. The citation imposes a civil fine. And then the unpaid fines can be placed as a lien on the property. So there's no way out of it. So we have our teeth to actually do something and enforce the codes. And people have a way to say, wait, this is not fair. I think that's a really good way to do this. Here's some proposed fine schedules. And, these aren't necessarily pulled directly from the air. We called around, and there are some of our local areas do impose fines up to $1,000 for residential, and we didn't really see a differentiation, but I think commercial should be higher innately because they're spending a lot more money on a property, and commercial builders know better. So anyway, that's just proposed. Obviously, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them at this time.
Let me just say, what we're doing is we're putting this under the code enforcement board. So it's like any other code violation now. So our code enforcement board has been very active, very fair when people have come to them and
Yep.
explained situations of what has happened. Great board, we're very blessed to have it.
Yep. We trust them
Yeah,
to
that was
make
my
sound
question. All right,
judgments.
do they have a means if they just do something, they screwed up and didn't know it?
Yeah,
they
That
can-
right.
fines get withdrawn?
And that's
Okay, yeah.
that's what that's for. You know, hey, yeah, we get it. You're from
Well,
out of town.
Right,
Didn't know.
and our code enforcement board has a rule they follow that if you get things corrected within 7 days of the notice of citation, then they automatically withdraw the fine.
Well, I think that $250 is kind of expensive for a first-time offense.
Let me interject if you don't mind. So what we can do, we don't have to cite the first go-around with an offense. We can give people a warning, which we have done several times, and again, we have repeat offenders here. So when we do the citation, it's for a good reason. It's not, and then they can come and appeal it. And I understand but at the same time, our permit price is more than that per average, pretty much.
What-
Yeah,
what's the-
Commissioner Pruitt, so the way that code enforcement works is when we are aware, unless it's a repeat offender, they get a notice of violation, not a citation. They get a notice of violation. So depending on what that violation is, they have X amount of days to correct that. If they correct it within that period of time, no citation goes out,
What
no
is that
fine
period?
goes
What is that period of time?
It depends on what
What it is?
Like
Yeah.
for weeks, it's a lot shorter. The reason is we keep growing. If it's condemnation, it's 30 days. And generally what happens in that 30 days is if they want to do something, they call Steve's office. Steve.
If they call me, they're good.
Right.
But
So
they've
that's
gotta
the
call
notice.
me.
Yeah, that's the notice of violation. If nothing happens, then it goes to a citation. Once it goes to a citation, then if they get it repaired, if they get it fixed in 7 days, then the board takes away the fine. If they don't get it fixed in 7 days, then. So that's 7 days on the citation, but they had the notice of violation. So the notice of violation is like a warning. Now, there are certain things that we go straight to citation for. If you're a repeat offender, and we know that you're not, like, we have properties that we have mowed forever. So with those, we send one notice violation at the beginning of the year, then we go straight to citation, because we got to get those mowed, get those corrected. If it's something incredibly dangerous, we go straight to citation. You know, if we've got to get something remedied right away.
Can-
Have I misspoken at all?
I don't necessarily think so. I think probably it would be a good idea for us to, you know, if you have a problem with the fine, we can come back. I feel like the fine's probably set at a good rate, but they always have that appeal to the code enforcement board, and the code enforcement board has the final say every time. They can go with our recommendation of 250. They can go with a slap on the wrist with a warning. Typically, when it does go to code enforcement board, if it is resolved, code enforcement board pretty much says you're okay. We're looking for results. We're looking to get people to stop working on projects. We've had an instance
Yeah,
recently.
I get that.
Yeah, it's dangerous. We had an instance recently where someone bought a multifamily housing complex. They signed on it in the morning. They had a crew there in the afternoon that had removed an entire exterior wall. This is a multifamily complex. They had covered it up, and we had never received any permits whatsoever. If that would have gone uncaught, we just happened to drive by. If that would have gone, and red flags went up, obviously. That would have gone uncaught, they could have, and they didn't do it right. That could have been several families affected negatively. So what we're trying to do is make Henderson a safe place. I understand, I know there are consequences to things like this, but we're not really going for the person who, let me say this, that was intentional. That was a builder who wanted to do that, rather because they know that we have a fine, and they would pay double of the permit rather than wait the extra week or couple days it might take to get the permit. The time is money issue, so they would have that residence open faster, and it's not right. I mean, it's so we're just trying to come up with a way. One thing I did call Owensboro. What they have, a board of appeals, is strictly for codes, building codes, and the people have a way to appeal the building codes through the board of appeals in the same sort of scenario here. We really don't have that set up here. I feel like it's kind of important for people to have a voice. So this would go to the code enforcement board. They'd be able to state that, hey, yeah, he said we did this. This is what we really were trying to do, yada, yada. And they can have that. Of course, somebody who starts work without a permit, most people know that's a no-no. But some people don't know.
Can I ask you two quick questions?
Sure.
So I'm assuming that this is something that you just kind of need a consensus on, and then you'll bring back an ordinance change to us. Is that right? Okay. The second question is can you explain to me again the theory behind the difference between uncontested and contested fines?
Okay. An uncontested fine is somebody who says, yeah, I did it, and they don't come in and say anything to us. They just pay the fine.
Mm-hmm.
Another one, contested fine, is someone to come to the code enforcement board and say, hey, I want to appeal this. This guy did something wrong here, and he didn't tell me I was supposed to do this. That's contested.
So I know the difference between the two.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, so here's my question in more detail.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the theory is in doubling the fine amounts for contested, because it seems like it's disincentivizing people to contest.
I don't know. We do it with everything.
Do
That's
we?
just our standard practice.
That's the way that the state has it set up. So we follow the state's.
Well, I don't know that I don't know that I agree with the way the state has it set up, and I guess I'm asking for your opinion, because to me what that says is that if I'm going out and getting something that I need a permit for, and I believe I'm in the right, and I'm looking at that you're telling me by the numbers that it's more advantageous for me to go ahead and pay for it because I may not win, so why appeal? And so I'm wondering why we double the amounts if somebody appeals it and then loses. I don't, because I heard you say we want people to have
A voice,
an alley to have a voice,
Mhm.
but then by our numbers, we're discouraging them from using that alley. And I'm just wondering what that theory is behind doing that.
The other thing is recognize that that's up to a maximum. On the uncontested, that's how much will be issued. The contested is up to the maximum, so that gives the board the ability to. And so the board generally always waives the fine.
No, and I get that, but I want to save us from ourselves, because sometimes you might get somebody who there's 3 or 4 board members just don't like them.
Yeah.
And then we've got this set up to where if you come up and you have a somewhat legitimate case, just for coming up, we're going to go ahead and just double your fine because we don't like you. And so that's what we're kind of giving them the ability to do here. And that's the only part of this that I don't like. Other than that, I like everything that you presented, but I don't like the message that we're sending by saying if you challenge, you have the right to challenge, but it could be double your fine.
The only reason we put this in here was because this is, I hate to say it, this is kind of how we've done all of our violations.
Yeah.
And it's not that we've always done it that way.
No,
That's how we currently do it.
I get it. I guess I'm looking at it with
We're following
a
our
fresh
protocol.
set of eyes today.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm not sure that I agree with that.
Yeah.
With that premise.
I
And so if you were to bring it back to us, maybe you could work on that a little bit, because I don't want to send the wrong message by allowing them a voice, but potentially allowing them harm for using the voice.
This is your decision. So we want to do what you guys want us to do.
think
We'll come back with that.
too.
I would agree.
Yeah,
with that.
I don't mind the fine amounts. I don't mind holding people accountable. I love the fact that we're going to give them a voice. I just do mind suggesting that we could punitively come down on them for using that voice.
And are you saying specifically just for this particular one, or for?
This
what
is the
we
one that's in front of us
typically
right
do?
now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's make it
if
easy.
you, as the codes director, would like to take a look at any of the others in light of that, you can. But in terms of this one, this is the one you're going to be bringing back to us. And so when you do, if you could just give some thought as to incorporating maybe that in the way that you set up the fines, however you wish, then that will help me make a sound decision on our end of the table.
Okay. All right, guys, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Steve.
Thank you.
This thing works great.
All right, we don't have any executive session today, is that right? We will move on into, can I see your list, the commissioners' comments. Commissioner Pruitt, do you have anything today? Commissioner Witt,
Nothing today.
Commissioner Thomas,
And the Lee Song Fest this week.
and the Lee Songfest is this week.
Saturday.
I've got just 3 events outside of the Sandy Lee Song Fest. So on Thursday is the State of the City, State of the County address, both of those. That will be at One Life Church, starting at 11:30, ending at 1 o'clock. And when you get there, if you pay attention to the food line, because they might have it set up to where you can get your food on the way in and then go to your table to help kind of tighten up that agenda a little bit. On Friday, there is an event in Evansville at Old National Bank Plaza at 11:45 to 1 o'clock. It's called Lunch with the Mayors. They have the mayors of Henderson, Evansville, and 2 other places on stage, and it's designed to ask questions, to present kind of a sharing of information amongst those communities type event. And then for the commission, 2 o'clock on Friday, we have a very brief, it is very brief, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, very brief, okay, should be. Very brief, special called meeting, 2 o'clock on Friday, right in here. Anybody else have anything to add today? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.